Our cities and towns, places where we live, work, play and rest. We all want cities that are friendly and easy to move around in. Why should we have to put up with this? When we deserve cities and towns that are lively, safe and people-friendly. Our urban transport systems have a huge impact on the quality of life in our cities. This video looks at some of the problems with our urban transport, then presents many ideas on how we can take action to solve them. First, let's take a look at some of the transport problems that we face in our cities. In many of our cities and towns, public transport services are very poor. Commuters can end up waiting for a long time for buses and other public transport. Bus stops and terminals are often crowded and poorly designed. Even the vehicles are regularly very crowded. Another major problem is, of course, road deaths. Did you know that around the world, more than 1,300 people die every day from road crashes? That is like having 3 jumbo jets crash almost every day. In developing countries, most of the people killed are pedestrians, cyclists, and motorcyclists. Many of them are children. Why do we tolerate so many road deaths? Most of our streets have become hostile, ugly places to walk in. In many places, pedestrian facilities are either badly built, poorly maintained, or in some cases, not there at all. Many footpaths are obstructed. Garbage, tables and chairs, and even vehicles. Imagine if there were tables and chairs and stationary vehicles in the middle of the roads every 100 meters. It would not be tolerated. Pedestrians are routinely sent on long detours or forced up and down steps just to cross a road. Why is crossing roads so often difficult and dangerous? Sometimes it feels that the needs of pedestrians are completely ignored. Noise, fumes, obstructions, and danger from speeding vehicles make most streets hostile and unpleasant to walk on, cycle along, or even to live on. No wonder many people who can afford to drive give up on walking and cycling. Pollution is another huge problem. Did you know that motor vehicles are the #1 source of air and noise pollution in most Asian cities? Some experts say vehicle air pollution kills more people than road crashes. That's like another 3 jumbo jet crashes every day. Children and people with respiratory and heart problems suffer greatly because of air pollution. By the way, if you thought that being in an air-conditioned car means that you're safe from air pollution, think again. Levels of certain types of air pollution can be up to 5 times greater inside cars than outside. Transport causes water pollution too. For example, large amounts of engine oil and fuel get washed off roads and parking lots into our river system, and we know only too well about the effects of oil spills from tankers and pipeline. Noise pollution. Whether we realize it or not, noise can harm our health. It affects the mental growth of our children and also contributes to other diseases like heart problems, high levels of stress, and high blood pressure. Next, we turn to the issue of equity and fairness. Certain groups in our community face much greater problems moving around than others. For example, lower income people are less able to afford private motor vehicles. Some even find public transport fares a big burden. Many low-income people end up spending hours just traveling every day. Women also have specific needs which are often ignored by transport planners. Most women are faced with many different responsibilities, such as looking after children, the elderly, household chores, and working outside the house as well. Each role adds to their transport burden. Traffic is a huge problem for children too, robbing them of safe places to play or roam. Fewer and fewer children are even allowed to walk to school. Disabled people have even fewer transport choices. Many become housebound. Some are denied education and work opportunities simply because of our disabling environments and inaccessible transport systems. The elderly also have a very hard time moving around our hostile streets. If places like these are difficult for the fit and non-disabled, imagine the difficulties faced by children, the frail, and wheelchair users. There is also the question of the space taken up by transport facilities and vehicles. Cars are especially wasteful of space, both when they're moving and when they're parked. Urban transportation takes up a lot of precious space in our densely populated Asian cities, with little left for recreational areas and playgrounds. In addition, every year, thousands of people are evicted to make way for transport projects. Did you know that the land for 1 kilometer of expressway could house around 1,000 people and about 300 jobs? Historic areas and valuable public spaces are also often ruined by traffic and roads. Another problem is, of course, the cost of transport projects. Billions are spent on expressways and railways, and many people don't realize that the indirect costs of transport can also be huge, including pollution, road crashes, and many other environmental and social costs. Actually, effective transport policies do not need to break the bank. Here is a problem that many of us recognize: traffic jams. Everyone hates a traffic jam. Car drivers complain the loudest, but actually, congestion hurts people in buses and bus companies, even more than motorists. Traffic jams also hurt goods transport, which then pushes up the prices of our food and goods. Many people feel that traffic congestion is the #1 transport problem. But actually, as we have seen, this is just one of several major problems. All these issues affect our daily lives dramatically. But it doesn't have to be this way. We couldn't have much better cities and towns.